Have you ever had a moment in your life where it scarred you forever? Well, I have. My mother was murdered about 2 years ago, and I still haven't gotten over it. I loved her very much because she supported me all the way through life and brought me my very first video game, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, along with a PS4 back in the day. She would always call me Quenny, my surname Quentin for short. She was the only one who called me that. I've been living in my aunt's house ever since. One Saturday night, I was home alone, so I decided to hop on some Garden Warfare for some solo garden ops. It took quite a while to start, so I decided to watch a 3-minute video on YouTube while waiting. Couldn't find really anything, but there was this one video that told me how to get good, so I decided to watch it instead.
Hey you! Who, me? That's right, I'm talking to you. Are you sick of off the Rule 34 fanfictions every single night? Yeah! Well, I have good news for you. Why read that when you can just read
Boom!
PBZ Creepypastas Volume 1? Exactly! Read this instead, you unlikable fat bird. This book will be published all over Wattpad around the end of the year, featuring many creepypastas you guys have already seen on my channel. And it even features a creepypasta that I never uploaded because it sounded so stupid and up. The production of this book on Wattpad may or may not be one of the reasons why I didn't upload in like the past 3 months. So what are you waiting for, buckaroo? Be sure to be the first one to read this book on Wattpad. Ignore those Rule 34 fanfictions and read true horror, if you know what I mean. Take care, everybody.
Welcome to a video on how to get good at the Toxic P.
Before I knew it, I got into the match. I planted the garden, spawned some plants in pots, and was ready to take down zombies. As I played, I noticed that my screen was getting foggier. There was mist slowly forming around the map. I didn't know if this was an update where the atmosphere changes, because I swear I have never seen mist or fog forming on this map, or even at all in this game. At the 5th wave, the map got shrouded in mist. It was so dense, the soundtrack even stopped playing and was replaced with unsettling music soon after. The soundtrack that played made me think someone was behind me, or that I was being watched. I turned a few times behind me just to be safe. Thankfully, no one was behind me, and I was the only one home alone. While playing, I heard a faint whisper. It sounded like a female, in her 40s or 50s. It was too foggy to see where it came from, so I tried to find its source. After minutes of trying to find the source of the whispers, I arrived at the graveyard of the estate. The whispers got louder as I walked in one specific direction. The mist slowly cleared a small area around me, and I realized the source of the whispers were coming from a mausoleum in front of me. The door was wide open, revealing a staircase which led down into the darkness. As I moved my joystick forwards, my character stepped into the structure, which caused the whispers to stop, and the eerie soundtrack to stop playing. I reached the bottom of the stairs to realize I ended up in a crypt. There were many rooms containing candles and coffins in each of them. The crypts were dark, and its atmosphere felt like I wasn't even playing Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, but rather a survival horror game. The only light sources present were the candles, which illuminated the crypts. I walked slowly through the halls, hoping to catch something out of the ordinary, and most importantly, who or what was whispering down here, while paying close attention to my surroundings. I always had that feeling of someone or something hiding in the dark, ready to pounce on me. I turned a corner, and I heard the same female voice again, but this time, it sounded like weeping. I looked at the end of the hall only to see a shadow figure standing there. The shadow did not move, and I did not move. It looked at me standing still. Me, being dumb in confusing situations, I spoke into my headset mic. "Hello? Can you hear me?" I asked. The shadow figure stopped weeping and said,
"I'm sorry, you had to find out."
I was shocked. I was indeed talking to the shadow figure. Before I could reply to that, the shadow spoke again.
"About my death."
It added, "About its death? No. There's no way I'm talking to a ghost in-game, right? There's no way." I asked the shadow, Your death? Were you killed? The shadow stayed silent for a few seconds and replied,
It was a gunshot. 2. Both to the chest. The heart.
This ghost's death. Why did it sound oddly familiar? May I know? Who are you anyway? Whose ghost are you? I asked.
If I told you, you wouldn't like it. Trust me.
I ran up to the shadow, tempted to ask more questions, but the shadow immediately perked up.
No, you must not find out. You don't know what you're gonna get yourself into. It
Exclaimed. Find out what? What happened to you? Are you even supposed to be in this game? I replied.
Corruption. Still growing. Inside me.
It said.
There's not much time for me, even in this horrid form. It's too late.
The shadow added. Too late? I asked.
You don't understand. He's gonna take over. Corrupt everything. You don't understand. You will never understand.
What is it? What is it that I don't understand?
I don't have much time. It already knows. Get out while you have the chance.
It replied. Tell me, what is this thing that knows? What does it know? I asked, raising my voice a little. The ghost started weeping again and spoke.
It knows I'm here. I've got no more time left. We all have got no more time left.
Is there anything I can do to help you from it? I asked.
Nothing can stop its corruption.
It replied.
You have to leave now. Run. Go before it's too late.
The shadow exclaimed, this time raising its voice too. I didn't know what to say at that point. I was just too stunned for words. I decided to do what the shadow said and ran towards the direction of the exit. I turned around to see the shadow still behind me. The shadow then said,
Take care of yourself, Quenny. I love you. Forever.
I froze in shock. The shadow called me Quenny. My mother was the only person who called me that. The next word that escaped my mouth was, Mother? At that point, the shadow figure just stood there, unresponsive. I moved my joystick a little to move up to the shadow. Without warning, the shadow looked up at me slowly, with its right eye glowing red. I moved my joystick, but I couldn't move my character at all. My pea shooter just stood there as the shadow looked at us. With an ear-piercing screech, the shadow lunged at me at a fast speed. With its sharp nails, it clawed my character hard in the face. Each time it clawed, my game got laggier and laggier, to the point where I couldn't see anything on my screen properly. The last scratch crashed my game, which shut my TV off seconds after. Days after that horrifying encounter in-game, I tried my best to get access to the crypts to encounter the shadow of what I highly suspect to be the ghost of my mother in the Zomboss estate map. But no matter what I did, no matter how many times I tried again and again, I never got to go back to the crypts again. I visited the graveyard that my mother was buried at. The thing was, I never attended my mother's funeral because I wasn't in the state at that time. And when I realized where she was buried, I broke down into silent tears. I found out my mom was put in a mausoleum and in the crypts of the graveyard. The scary thing was that the mausoleum structure looked just like the one I saw in the Zomboss estate graveyard that night.